Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the Yoga Institute's live session today. I am Sheila Bharadwaj, and with me I have Brianna Tan, and we are both teachers with the Yoga Institute. Today we are going to show you a class on alignment. So it is basically something that we make mistakes in even the basic asanas. So we're going to take up the basic asanas today and see how we can correct those postures. All right. So let's start right away without talking much. Let's start with the basic body posture. So coming to a standing posture, getting your feet, let's turn around here, turning to the side. So get your feet to around hip distance apart. Hip distance apart would be approximately your outer hip distance apart. And if you can't get that alignment, you could probably get two fists, make a fist with your hands, get them to meet, and then get them in between your feet. And that would approximately be your hip distance apart. Not exactly centimeter to centimeter, but just approximately hip distance apart. Now, one more thing here. See that your outer feet are parallel to each other. The outer feet and not the inner feet. Not the inner feet, but the outer feet. So you will feel that your thighs are internally rotating here, right? Thighs feel internally rotate, toes feel slightly pigeon-toed here, all right? Now, if you can press into your feet firmly here, and then get your thighs to press back, not the knees, thighs pressing back. So if I press my knee back, do you see that? See, that's what happens with my back, with my calf. So we're not looking at the knee pressing back, not locking the knee, but pressing the thighs behind consciously, right? Abdomen slightly tucked in here. Yes, so my tailbone is long. And then because of that, my chest droops. Chest opens here, but that doesn't mean I press the chest open. Just slightly opens, my shoulders droop here. Roll those shoulders back. Hands by the side of your thighs. And see if you can stand like this. We're getting a perfect posture, a straight posture. Normally, the way we stand is this. All right? This is normal, not you, everyone, even me. When we're standing, we stand like this. Why not try and stand like this? It may feel odd initially, but this will not give you any problems with your body. All right, so keeping this posture, can you get your feet together, maintaining the same posture? Get your feet together, hands in namaste near your heart. All right, and keeping this posture, concentrate at a point in front of you. And slowly, when you feel stable, close your eyes. And here we are with Sthit Prarthanasana, standing prayer pose. Take a couple of breaths here, starting to concentrate on your breath. Conditioning yourself for a 1 hour alignment based class. Trying to equalize your breathing, maybe inhale to 3 counts, exhale to 3 counts. If 3 counts is too much, you could take 2 counts. If this is feeling too much, you can always keep your feet slightly apart and close your eyes. And slowly open your eyes. All right, let's start with our first or the second posture. This was the first posture. So, second posture is Talasana. So, getting your feet to around 1 foot distance apart. Mhm. So, 1 foot distance apart, but again, remember the external foot is parallel and your feet slightly pigeon toed and thighs feel internally rotated. Hands by the side of your legs or thighs. On an inhalation, take your right hand up and go onto your toes. The palms face in towards you. Remember the same posture. Don't press the chest forward. or don't press the chest being or forward or at the back, either ways. On an exhalation, giving backward rotation only to the arm, not the body, coming back. The common mistake here is when you take your hand up, the right hand goes up. Don't go onto your toes for this one. Generally, the tendency is to pick that shoulder up. So don't pick up that shoulder. Keep the shoulders back in the socket here. And then when you're coming back, the tendency is to roll the whole body behind and come back. Don't do that again. So take your right hand up, keep it away from the ear. So roll the shoulders away from the ears. All right. Palms in, but elbows straight. And when you're coming back, give a backward rotation only to the arm and come back. All right, let's try the other side. On an inhalation, take your left hand up onto your toes. Actually, it's not the toes, it's the ball of the feet. It's the lack of words that we all say toes, but it's actually ball of the foot. All right. On an exhalation, getting backward rotation to your arms, come back. Very nice. Let's do both the hands this time. Taking both your hands up, inhale, maintaining the same straight posture. See that your back is not going behind like this, all right? Or either you're falling down. If you feel you're falling down, take wall support initially. That's perfectly okay, all right? But maintain the posture and giving backward rotation to both your arms, come back. Very nice. We have two more variations here. Maintaining the same posture, getting your hands by the side, palms facing up. On an inhalation, raise your hands up, join your palms. Right. On an exhalation, again, slowly coming back. Again, the mistake here is when you go up, see that your palms are joined completely and you're not interlocking them, neither are you interlocking your thumb, none of those. Palms joined completely and hand and ear is in a line, but shoulders are rolled back. Shoulders not going up all the way. Shoulders rolled back. If this is too much for you because of any issue with your shoulder, keep your hands parallel to the floor. Use the second variation. That's perfectly okay. All right, let's go with one more variation. So cross the right wrist on top of the left wrist for this one. All right, it's not palm on the palm, it's wrist on top of the wrist. All right, on an inhalation, raise your hands up again. Go onto your toes. Hand and ear again comes in a line. See that your hands are not ahead or they are not going too back. They are in line. And slowly coming back. Very good. Now let's take the second posture here. This was Talasana. So this is maintaining the posture. Remember, it is for your spine, extension of the spine. So don't do anything to spoil that posture. Take the spine behind, take the spine forward. Give a complete lift to the whole body. All right. Second posture or the next posture is going to be Konasana. So getting your feet to around 2 feet distance. Okay, you can take baby steps if you've still not figured out what is your 2 feet approximately. Again, slightly pigeon-toed, external feet parallel. Getting your right hand on the waist. Left hand to the side, looking over your left shoulder, and then slowly go down towards the left side. Getting your right hand towards the armpit and right elbow up towards the ceiling. All right. Now here, it is not only the lateral stretch, but it's also the extension of the spine. So we are looking at an extension and then a stretch to the left. It's not just dipping yourself to the left here. It's an extension and then going to the lateral stretch, slowly coming back. All right. Getting the left hand, let's see it again. Right hand to the side, lift. Feel a lift with the spine. And then without dropping that lift, you go down towards the right side. So you're getting a stretch on the left side, complete left side, but no cramping on the lower side. So it's also lifting from the lower side. Do not shift your hips. Your hips are squared here. All right? On an inhalation, slowly coming up. All right, very nice. Remember, feet distance, thighs feeling internally rotated. Lift and then crescent. Do not sink. Lower body is completely stable, no movement. So do not shift the hips to the side and then go down. Do not shift your hips. Hips are completely stable in the center. All right. Taking the second variation here. So taking your right hand up again. Same feet distance, thighs internally rotate. And then from here, feel a lift with the spine, not the shoulders. Lift with the spine and then crescent over to the left side. Again, no movement of the hips here, only extension and crescenting of the spine. Slowly coming up and release your hand. Let's do the other side. Left hand up, crescent towards the right, getting a complete stretch to the left side of your body. Once you're down, remember, feel a lift. Do not sink. The mistake that people make here generally is trying to go down here, trying to shift the hip and go down. We're not trying to go down here. We're trying to take a stretch to the lateral side and to the spine. So we're going up and then to the side. So even if that's very little, it's perfectly okay. But take the lift and then crescent. All right. And slowly coming back. All right. Getting your feet closer. Getting it to around hip distance apart for Samakonasana. Maybe we can turn to the side. Getting your legs to around hip distance apart. We spoke about hip distance apart just a few minutes ago. That is making two fists with your hand and placing it in between your legs, approximately. But if you can measure your outer hip distance apart, that's perfectly okay. Toes slightly always pigeon toed, thighs feeling the internal rotation. All right. Now from here, hand on to the waist for the first one. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale. And exhaling, hinge from the hip and extend the spine, rolling the shoulders back. Press the weight forward onto your toes so that your hip and your ankle comes in a line. All right, on an inhalation, slowly coming up. The common mistake, can we show the mistake with rounding the back? All right, so here, okay, round the back. I think I'll show it. She's not able to round it. Okay, she's too flexible for that. All right, so getting your legs to hip distance apart, hands on the waist, and then rounding the back. All right, if this is happening, then you need to bend your knees and extend the spine. Bend the knees and extend the spine. She's too flexible. On an inhalation, slowly coming up. All right, let's do it one more time. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale and exhale. Hinge and parallel to the floor. Extend the spine. Push the weight forward onto your toes, but don't go off with the heels so that your hip and ankle comes in a line. So there is no pressure on the knee here. So you're completely extending the spine and not rounding the spine. On an inhalation, slowly coming up. All right, let's do another variation here. Interlock your hands behind you. So it's very important to keep extending the spine rather than rounding the spine. Remember, you'll always reach forward when you extend the spine. We feel that by rounding the spine, we'll keep reaching forward and down, but we're not going to reach anywhere. We're going to reach only somewhere here, but only when I extend the spine will I reach forward. All right, roll your shoulders back, inhale. And again, exhaling, hinge parallel to the floor. Once you're parallel, you can raise your hands up here, but it's okay if you can't open up your shoulders much. This is more about extension of the spine. Push the weight onto your toes so your hip and ankle is always in a line and you're not locking your knee. If you feel that you can't extend your spine so much, remember to bend the knees and extend the spine. There you go. On an inhalation, getting your hands down, slowly coming up. Remember the other one, the mistake, common mistake that people do here is round and then drape your hands up and then try to go down. Okay? Slowly coming up for the next one. Getting your hands forward. On an inhalation here, inhale. On an exhalation, pull yourself forward. Touch your toes and look forward. Extend the spine. Press the weight forward onto your toes here. On an inhalation, slowly getting your hands forward again. And slowly release your hands. Let's do it one more time. Getting your hands forward. Inhale here. And exhaling, hinge and fold. Extend your spine and go down. Again, giving a full extension to the spine. On an inhalation, getting your hands forward again. Coming up. And slowly release. Very nice. So these are all the variations. Again, if you can't reach the floor here, it's perfectly okay. Here, if you just reach here, it's okay. You can just get your hands onto your shin or wherever onto your feet, but extend the spine. Keep extending the spine. Do not round the spine. Extend the spine. On an inhalation, slowly getting your hands forward and slowly release. All right. Extension of the spine is very important. All right. Remember, you can always bend your knees if your extension is not happening. All right. Next one. Let's go to Ekpadasana here. All right. Getting your feet together or slightly apart, it doesn't matter here. And then we are going to get our left leg up towards the right inner thigh. Left leg way up towards the right inner thigh. Remember, we are doing the left leg. We're taking the left leg up first because our right leg has to be completely straight. And we are working on the right leg. So that's why we take the left leg up. Okay? So left leg up. Here, you will have your right toes pointing forward, left toes pointing down, and then getting your hands in Namaste near your heart. Remember, the hips are squared here, but your thighs are externally rotating. Feel a nice external rotation to the thighs, but hips are squared. On your next inhalation, take your hands up only if you feel stable. Remember again, shoulders roll away, elbows are straight, and palms are completely joined here. And slowly release. The common mistake here is getting the left leg up. If you can reach, fine, but the left toes are pointing in like this. See that the left toes are pointing down. Sometimes even the right toes point out to compensate for the balance. So see that the right toes are also pointing forward. Another mistake, hips are out. See that the hips are square and only the thigh is feeling energetically pulled out or pushed out for the external rotation of the hip or the thigh, sorry. Hips are squared. If maintaining this posture, you can take your hands up, it's okay. Otherwise, keep your hands in Namaste near your heart. That's perfectly okay. Another mistake here, getting your left foot onto your knee. This, we never put any pressure on our joints. And in this place, our knees. So do not put any pressure on your knee here. If this is not happening, getting it way up, then get the left foot onto your other foot. Get your left foot onto your other foot. That's perfectly okay. Or even getting the left foot near your shin bone, anywhere between your knee and your ankle. That's also okay. If and when your hips open up, then get the left leg up, all the way up towards the right inner thigh. Left toes pointing down, right toes pointing straight. Hips are squared, only thighs are getting externally rotated. All right, releasing the left leg. And now taking the right leg up because we're working on the left side. Left leg. Left toes pointing forward, right toes pointing down. Hips squared, thigh feeling externally rotated, hands in namaste. If you feel stable, you can take your hands. Hand and ear in a line. See that your palms are completely joined and you're not crossing over with your thumb or interlocking your fingers. Slowly getting your hands in namaste again and release your hands. All right, getting your legs to around 3 or 3.5 feet distance for Konasana 3 here. Again, toes pointing forward. Feeling the internal rotation of the thighs. Getting your hands forward here. On an inhalation, remember all of this is maintaining the first posture that we spoke about. Tailbone is down, lifting up from your chest, rolling your shoulders back, thighs pressed back. All of that is happening in all of the asanas. Hands forward. On your next inhalation, get your hands out. Now from here, you will look at your right hand and take it towards the left toe. Remember, extension of the spine and take it towards the left toe. Swing the left hand up. Once you're down, remember, lift. Do not try and sink. Again, extension of the spine. Your hip and ankle is in a line. Feel a lift up and don't sink. On an inhalation, slowly coming back. All right. Release your hands. We'll go to the next side. Common mistake that is made here is taking the right hand, let's go, right hand without extension of the spine, just going down. Dip the right hand and go down. Yes. So this is a wrong posture. So remember, extend the spine and go down. Always extend the spine and go down. And then after you go down, or if you reach down or not, keep sinking and trying to dip. No. Wherever you are, stay, lift, and then feel a lift up towards the ceiling. Lift up always. Get your hand onto your shin. It's perfectly okay. And lift. Extend the spine and lift. And slowly coming back. All right, let's see the correct posture again. Getting your hands down, getting your hands forward. On an inhalation, getting your hands up. Take your right hand or look at your right hand and take it towards the left toe. Once you're down, lift. Slowly coming back. Look at your left hand and take it towards the right. Lift. And slowly coming back. And slowly release your hand. All right, so that was Konasana 3. Let's move on to the next posture, Trikonasana. Turning the left toes to the outside. Yes, I'm saying left. I know it's left because I'm going to take my right hand and give an extension to the right side. All right, so taking the right hand up now. Taking your right hand up, only right hand up. Yes, and start moving towards the left side. Again, remember, it's the extension and then the crescenting. So you're getting a nice stretch on the right side completely. And that's the reason I said left toes out, because it's a stretch to the right side. You can take your right hand over the ear. You can keep your chin away from the chest. It doesn't matter which side you look. You can look forward, you can look at your hand, but keep the chin away from the chest. Now, if you can reach down here, then fine. But remember to reach to the outside of the foot and keep the hips behind here. On an inhalation, slowly coming up and exhale, release. If you can't reach towards the floor, it's perfectly okay to just go down towards the shin. Go down towards the shin and take your right hand up and look up at your right hand. But keep the right hip behind, keep the chest open. Even if you can't take the right hand over the ear, it's perfectly okay. Keep it up. and slowly coming back. Let's see the other side. Turning the right toes to the outside, getting your left hand up. Again, this is an extension to the left side. That's the reason the right toes go out second. Inhale and exhale, go down. Keeping the left hip behind. It doesn't matter whether you can get your hand to the floor. Feel a lift. And inhaling, slowly coming back. Do not get your hips forward and slowly kind of getting it down. One more time, turn the left toes to the outside. We'll show them the mistake by dipping the hip forward. So getting your hands again, right hand up and dipping the right hip forward and then going down. Off. Okay, coming back. I'll show you the mistake. She can't make the mistake. She's not able to make the mistake. Okay, getting the hands parallel, getting the right hand up and then taking the hip forward and then trying to move forward. Taking the hip forward. So don't move that hip forward to go down. You don't need to reach the floor by getting your hip forward. Even if you just get your hands to the side, take the right hand up and keep the right hip behind. And slowly coming back. All right, Trikonasana that was. All right, keeping the feet to around 4 feet distance now. Prasarita padottanasana. Getting your hands in on your waist this time. Yes. See that your thighs are again internally rotated and toes are again pigeon-toed. So here it's around 4 feet distance with your feet. Or you can get your hands in T. Yeah. And getting your wrist and ankle approximately in the same line. Wrist and ankle. So if I draw a line from your wrist to your ankle, it should be approximately in the same line. So that is the distance between your feet. Or you can also take baby feet or baby foot like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's perfectly okay too. All right. Anyway, you can just get your measurement. Let's do the first variation, getting your hands onto your waist. Thighs feel internally rotated, toes pigeon-toed. Roll your shoulders back, inhale. Now exhaling, hinge from the hip, extend the spine and fold. Press the hips up, feel a roll up with your hips and extend the spine. So here, you will press the weight forward onto your toes and your spine is completely extended. On an inhalation, extending the spine, slowly coming up. So again, the mistake here, I think I'll show the mistake. Keeping your feet to 4 feet distance, hands onto the waist. And then, should I show it from the side? I think that would be better. And then rounding the back. So if I round the back, remember, I will not reach far. I need to extend the spine to reach far. I need to roll the hips up and extend the spine here. Sometimes I also see the mistake of getting the toes or feet in V shape and then trying to go down. That puts a lot of pressure on the knees. So mind you, and get your toes in and heels out. All right. Let's see the second variation here. Interlock your hands behind you. Roll your shoulders back, inhale. And exhaling again, hinge and fold. Extending the spine, fold. Now once you're down, you can raise your hands up. Again, remember, it's a complete extension of the spine. And your weight folds forward onto your toes. You can raise your hands up as much as you need to open the shoulders here. On an inhalation, getting your hands down. Slowly coming up. Again, remember the mistake here. Interlocking your hands and rounding the spine. And then trying to raise your hands up. Remember, you need to extend the spine to go down and then raise your hands up. Right? Let's go to the next variation again. Maintaining the same posture. Get your palms in the center of your feet. Palms to the center of your feet. Yes. Extend your spine and get your palms to the center of your feet such that your middle finger and big toe comes in a line and your hands are shoulder distance apart. So there's enough space for you to go down. Now again, look forward first and extend the spine. Come up again. Yes. Extend the spine here. And then keeping that extension, fold. Remember to hinge from the hip and fold. Go down as much as you can. See that your shoulders are rolling out, back. And slowly coming up all the way. All right. So this is the third variation. We have one more variation left here. We have one more variation left here. So you can slide your hands and grab hold of your big toe. Extend. And then slowly box the elbows out and start going down all the way. Press the weight forward onto your toes. Go down. You can get your forehead down. On an inhalation, slowly extend and coming up all the way. Now, if you are as flexible as her, there is an option. Okay, get your feet closer. Now she didn't even know where to put her head now because she's so flexible that she had no space to put her head down. So get your feet slightly more closer. All right, stay pigeon-toed. Hands onto your waist. For the first variation, I'll show you the first variation. All the other variations are going to be exactly the same. Roll your shoulders back. Extend the spine and fold. There you go. See that? She's getting an extension. Are you getting an extension now? Yes. So always remember that if you are easy at one place, make it a little more challenging for yourself. So here she'll start getting an extension, the full back side of the body, and she has some place to reach now. So she has an aim that she has to reach the floor. Otherwise there she was completely comfortable. On an inhalation, slowly coming up. And you can work on all the other variations in the same manner. All right, let's coming into our last standing pose. Getting your feet together. Hasta Padasana. This is our last standing pose before we come to a seated posture. On an inhalation, raise both your hands up. Lift. Feel a lift with your spine. On an exhalation, extending the spine. Go down. Grab hold of your big toe with your peace fingers. Again, push the weight forward onto your toes. Extend the spine and go down. You can box your elbows out and pull yourself down. Yes, you can grab hold of your ankles because she finds it very easy to grab hold of her toes. So otherwise, you can grab hold of your toes, big toes, with your peace fingers and extend yourself. And on a next inhalation, slowly extend the spine and come up. Do not let go of any opportunity to extend the spine. So do not come up and slowly release. So do not come up rounding your spine. So even if you've gone down extending the spine, extend the spine, you grabbed hold of your big toe, you've gone down. Remember not to round your spine and come up. Extend the spine and come up. Do not let go of any opportunity here. All right, now coming to a seated posture. Sukhasana. Let's take a Sukhasana. Getting your right palm on the left palm. Let's take 3 breaths here. Close your eyes. You can take a little breather. Close your eyes. All right. Slowly open your eyes. Our first seated posture is Parvatasana with Padmasana or without Padmasana, actually. So for Padmasana, we'll get our legs forward. Now, getting your right leg near your left hip, way up towards the left hip. And getting your left leg near the right hip, way up. Now, if this is not happening, it's supposing you're here, you can stay there. But if this is not happening and you're just here, you can get your leg up here, but your right knee is way up, then you're better off sitting in Sukhasana. Remember, when your knee is not coming down or your thigh is not coming down, it's the function of your hip not open. It's not a function of the knee. So I see many people doing this, pressing that knee towards the floor. Don't do that because it's not the function of the knee at all. It's the function of the hip. It's the external rotation of the hip here. Remember, the knee is a hinge joint and its function is only to move this way. This is the only function that the knee knows. This is not the function of the knee. This is the function of the hip. It's like telling a fish to walk. You can't tell a fish to walk. So if you tell a fish to walk, it's going to die, right? So it can't do that. So it's just the same way. If I kept doing this with my knee, I'm going to spoil that knee. And then you have knee issues. So only if you can get your right leg way up towards the left thigh and get that hip down, will you get the left leg up. Just imagine if my right leg was already here and I was trying to get this leg up. I'm spoiling this knee. I'm spoiling this knee. It's not worth it. It's never going to happen. And the thought that, after a few days that knee is going to get all right is never going to happen. The knee will only get worse. Start working on your hip openers. As and when your hip opens, your thigh will go down and you will be able to get into Padmasana. It's not the function of the knee. All right. The second mistake here is getting this leg here. See this leg? How it is turned in. See that ankle? Have you ever felt a ankle twist? Ankle twist, how do we twist our ankle? We generally go like this and then our leg goes tuck. Isn't that what happens with our ankle when we twist? Tarak, and the ankle twists. And just imagine what I'm doing here. I'm taking and doing the same function here. So I'm twisting my ankle. So don't do that again. So that's not a good thing for the ankle. And on top of that, I'm going to get that ankle on top here. My ankle is paining doing this. I'm sure people must be getting the same ankle pain doing this thing. So see that you're getting that leg way up. The best idea to get the right leg up in this way is get the right leg in. Your knee is locked. So there's no problem with that knee. Then without holding this ankle, maybe get that foot up and then get that leg up here. So this will be the best way so that my ankle is not tweaking here, my knee is not tweaking here. So this is the best way to get into a Padmasana. If maintaining all of this, if you can get into Padmasana, then fine. If not, sit in Sukhasana or half Padmasana. That's perfectly okay too. Take half Padmasana. After some time, switch to with the other leg. That will give you a nice opening to your hips. All right, let's start. If we're maintaining this, if you can take the Padmasana, getting your hands by the side. Now your spine is completely erect here. Check out for the rounding spine. I'll show you this variation here. Check out for this. If this is happening, then you can get a blanket, put a blanket underneath of your hips so that you're coming on top of your sitting bone and you're getting a complete straightening of the spine. If you're here, see that you come here. Check for that. Check out in a mirror, check out with a partner, tell them to check your spine. Worst case, sit near a wall, but see that your back is completely straight. I don't recommend wall because then you just get used to it. But still, if that has to be done, do it, but see that the spine is completely erect. Hands by the side, palms facing up. On an inhalation, take your hands up, join your palms, keeping the spine completely erect. Remember, shoulders roll back. but elbows are straight and palms are completely joined. Thumb is not locked, fingers are not locked. And slowly coming back. All right, taking the second variation. All the variations just flow just the way we spoke about all the Talasana and Konasana variations. Again, inhaling up, same extension and then crescenting. Crescent to the right and back and crescent to the left. Remember, it's the extension and crescenting. And back. This time we twist. Let's take the twist also. So twist again, extend and twist. Don't sink and twist. Extend and twist. Back to the center, twist to the left. And back. And slowly release. All right, extend your legs. You can shake your legs off. We're coming to one more seated posture, that is padottanasana. You can shake off your legs if you have to. You can get your legs forward. All right. Now, in a padottanasana again, you will come on top of your sitting bones, all right, and not on your bums. Though I don't want to use that word, but that's the only word I know. Okay, so you're not going to sit like this. See this? This is the rounding of the spine that's happening. And it's so wrong. And look at her, how beautifully she's sitting on the top of her sitting bones and her spine is erect. So get the flesh off and come off to the top of the sitting bones and get your spine erect. Again, if this is not happening, roll your mat, push it under your hips, and see that your back is erect. If it's not happening, you're still there, wall. Go onto the wall and make your spine erect. All right? Right. Toes curl in here. I'll show you variations in case you can't do what she's doing. So the other day, we were practicing for this. And I said, if you come here itself, you should get a nice stretch onto your hamstrings. Already if for people like normal people, if they sit up like this, they start getting a nice stretch on the hamstrings. When you're top of the sitting bones, your sitting bone is connected to your hamstring. So you start getting a nice stretch. And if you curl your toes in, you should get a better stretch. And I said, aren't you getting a nice stretch? I'm getting a nice stretch. She says, no, I'm not getting any stretch. I said, okay, it's not for you. All right, raise your hands up. Inhale, stretch up, look up. Stretch the spine. And then exhale, extending the spine, move forward. All right, see, what stretch would she get? Now getting your, look forward. Yes, keep extending. With every inhalation, feel your ribs expand. And with every exhalation, move a little forward. With every inhalation, feel your ribs expand. And with every exhalation, move forward. And trying to get your chest and abdomen onto your thighs. Only and only if you've got your chest and abdomen onto your thigh, can you get your forehead down. Only and only if you have your chest and abdomen onto your thigh, you can get your forehead to the floor or your feet. Now extending your hands forward, slowly coming up all the way. And release your hands. The common mistake, trying to get your forehead to the knee. Go down, round the back, yes, and go down. See how less you've reached. That's because she's rounded her spine. As soon as you extend the spine, you will go way forward. If your hamstrings are not open, you can get your hands behind you and just extend the spine. This is a good variation. Extend the spine, just getting your hands beside you. If you think that this is okay, then you can start getting your hands forward here. And again, extend the spine. Extend the spine. Now get it more forward and extend the spine. Get it more forward and extend. Wherever you feel you starting to round, hold. And just stay there. Go back and extend the spine. Anywhere, wherever you feel you're starting to round, extend the spine. Just hold it there. Don't go more. All right? Let's see it one more time. Raise your hands up. Inhale. Exhaling. Hinge. Extend and go down. You can grab hold of your big toe. You can grab hold of your ankles. You can grab hold of your shin, even your thighs. Anywhere is okay. But extend the spine. Feel your ribs expand with every inhalation and move forward with every exhalation. Remember, you're trying to reach towards your toes and you're not trying to reach towards the knees. So I see people, they always want to get their forehead to the knee. No, we are trying to get our forehead to your toes. Extension of the spine. All right? Extend your hands forward and inhaling slowly, coming up, and release your hands. All right, we could also do one variation here in case this is absolutely tough for you. Get your right leg towards the left inner thigh. Yes. Remember, toes curl in. Only then will you start getting the stretch to your hamstring, and you have to be on the top of your sitting bones. Raise your hands up, inhale, twist towards the left leg, and exhale again. Extend the spine and fold. Remember, you're relaxing one hamstring, you're extending another hamstring. So that will be a little relief for you. So this one would be a little easier variation than taking both the hamstrings together. Remember again, you're reaching towards your toes, not your knees. If your abdomen and chest have dropped onto your leg, then you can go down. Just turn your head, neck down, because your abdomen and chest is already onto your thigh. Inhaling, slowly coming up. Extend and come up. Remember, even in this, you can get your hands behind and extend the spine. If it is too tough, if you're rounding here already, then get your hands behind and extend the spine. You can get your hands forward, extend the spine. Keep moving your hands forward and extend the spine. Wherever you feel you're rounding, round. Yes, that's round. Wherever you feel you're rounding, extend and stop. All right, and slowly coming up. All right, extend your feet now. And then we come to our abdomen. For Bhujangasana, so take a Makarasana first. Take a few breaths here. Take a breather again. All right, getting ready for Bhujangasana. Getting your forehead to the floor and hands by the side of your chest. So your shoulders and your fingers are almost in a line. Getting your full body in one straight line and getting your feet and heels to touch. On your next inhalation, press into your palms and getting your head and chest up. Now here you're rolling your shoulders back away from the ears and your elbow is touching near your body. On exhaling, slowly go down. So there are so many mistakes that happen in this posture. It's classic. Come up all the way. All the way, push up. This is wrong. This is not Bhujangasana. Okay, go down. Pop the shoulders up and come up this time. Pop up, pop the shoulders up. Yes, this is wrong. This is not Bhujangasana. Go down. Elbows out and come up this time. Elbows out. This is wrong. And down. Only and only one option that you have is if your back is not very open, you can get your feet slightly apart. Only and only option that you have in Bhujangasana. Otherwise, you will roll your shoulders back and come up. Shoulders roll away from the ears and elbows are hugging towards the body. Your thighs here also feel internally rotated. You're getting a nice stretch on your mid back here. And slowly go down, take a Makarasana. Remember, all the other variations that I showed you that were wrong are very easy. And if anything feels easy, then you're not in the right posture. You have to get a stretch in each posture. Popping the shoulders up is completely wrong. Feels like I can watch TV there for like hours together. You can't do that. That's not the correct posture. Elbows away, again, is easy. We can't do that. All right. Push with your hands and coming into child pose. Show Ushtrasana. So that was Bhujangasana before this. Taking a child pose. If the back bend was too much, you can extend the spine. Else you can come into Balasana. All right. Coming up onto your knees. Getting your legs to around hip distance apart. If you want to, you can roll the mat. Protecting your knees. You okay? All right. Feel comfortable. Come up onto your knees. Mm-hmm. All right. So your knees are around hip distance apart here. Mm-hmm. Getting your hands onto your hips behind, 4 fingers down. Hold down. Hold down here. Now, this hand is not here to push my hips forward. This hand is here to emphasize on my pressing the tailbone down. So I'm extending my tailbone here, remember. And I'm not going to push my hips forward. My hip and knee is already in a line. So I'm not going to push my hips further ahead. This asana is to open your abdomen and chest and open your thoracic spine and not to push the hips forward. Feel that your thighs are moving towards each other. Your hips are moving towards each other. Maintaining this, if you can get your abdomen and chest to face up towards the ceiling, start opening without opening your hips. No opening the hips here. Hold it here. Yes, hold. No opening of the hips. So no pressing that hip forward like this. Keeping those hips intact and slowly coming back. You can take a child pose if you want. Yeah. So do not open up the hips here. See that your hips are moving towards each other. Thighs are moving towards each other. It's only the opening of your abdomen and your chest. Maximum what you can do is get your hands near your armpit or your chest and see if you can roll that chest open here. That would be make it a little simpler for you to open up the abdomen and chest towards the ceiling. Let's show them one more time. Ushtrasana. Getting your knees to hip distance apart. So initially, if you can't do it, it's perfectly okay. Go as much as you can. So turn the toes in, and that will make it a little more easier. So that's why you can keep your hands onto your hips and stay with this variation till you feel or you're comfortable to get your hands down. All right? Keeping your hips in, do not roll that pelvic out. Hips in, turn in, thighs in. Now start opening your abdomen and chest towards the ceiling, keeping that thighs intact and hips intact. Right. Now maintaining this, if you can get your hands onto your ankle or your heel, get both your hands together. But get both your hands together onto your heels if it's possible. Yes. Rather than getting one at a time, get both of them together. And slowly coming back. This one, take a balas. This one is a way easier with other than the heels or toes getting tucked out. That is another variation or the final variation where you can get even a little deeper. Remember the easiest variation, keeping your hands onto your back. After that, you can get your hands with your toes tucked in. And after that, you will see what she'll do. She'll tuck the toes out and then get her hands onto her heels. All right, slowly coming up. Coming onto your knees. Maintaining the hips, maintaining the pelvic, not pressing the pelvic out. Tuck the toes out this time. Yes. Right. Getting your hands onto your hips. Open your abdomen, chest. No opening up the pelvic here. And then maintaining this, if you can get your hands onto your heels. Yes. No opening the pelvic, pelvic in, hips in. And slowly. And even if you feel that your neck cannot drop down so much, you want to keep your neck slightly up, that's okay too. And slowly coming back. You can take a balasana. Slowly coming to lie down on your back. You can stretch off yourself if you wish to. Take a yastikasana. It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's next posture is Setu Bandhasana. So bend your knees. Now, in Setu Bandhasana, getting your legs to around hip distance apart. Remember here, you can't get your two fists, so you will have to visualize your hip distance apart. That's your outer hip distance apart. And again, toes point forward. But remember, toes pointing forward is again pigeon toe pointing forward. All right, so your thighs are slightly internally rotated here also. Toes in, slight heels out. Getting your hands by the side of your hips. See if you can just touch your fingers to your heel. That's it. Try not to get your ankle very close to your hip. So can you show that? See that this is not happening. See with this variation what happens? Her knee is getting pushed ahead of her ankle. And when she goes up, and if her back is not open, her back is very open, so she's going to push her chest up. But if your back is not open and you have this posture, you're going to put all the pressure on the knee because you're going to push forward. She will push up, but you may push forward. So get your feet slightly forward. See that your fingers are just gently touching your heel here. Right. On an inhalation, pick your hips up. Now, when you go up, mindful, thighs internally rotate. Remember, do not open up that pelvic. Knees are still hip distance apart. Knees will not turn out. Can you turn the knees out? The common mistake is for these knees to turn out. See that these knees don't turn out. Knees are in, thighs internally rotate, and slowly go down. Let's do it again. This time, try and press the chest towards the chin. Yeah, right. Let's go. Inhaling up. Yeah. So trying to press the chest towards the chin. You can tuck your shoulder blades inside here. And trying to press the chest towards the chin, but chin away from the chest. Chin has got nothing to do with the chest, but chest moves towards the chin. So you see her back is flexible. So she's pushed up. But if that doesn't happen, if your legs are in, you're going to push forward with your knees. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on the knees. Thighs internally rotate here. And slowly release your hands, release your shoulder blades, and slowly getting your hips down. Very nice. Relax. Release your legs. Relax yourself in Shavasana. So today's class was based mainly on alignment so that you don't make any mistakes while getting into asanas. I hope that this asana class was helpful. All right. So slowly coming up to a seated posture, turn to any one side. I'm Sheila Bharadwaj, and this is Brianna Tan with me. Thank you very much for joining us today.